We begin with Wall Street, where the Dow has been on a steady climb now for more than a year. Yesterday, it closed above the 11,000 mark for the first time since September of 2008. CBS News business and economics correspondent Rebecca Jarvis is here to tell us what all this means. Good morning, Rebecca.
Good morning, Maggie.
Put this number in perspective for us. How far have we come since the worst of the recession?
We've come a long way, Maggie. We're up 68% on the Dow since the March lows during the recession in 2009, but we still have a long way to go to recoup the losses that we have taken over these last couple of years. In order to get back to where the Dow was at its highest level, we still have 29% more to climb on the Dow, and things are looking like it's not going to be as fast as we saw the turnaround to this point in time.
And something that's important to point out, I think, is that the stock market does not always mirror the economy. So I wouldn't be surprised if people are skeptical that this does not necessarily mean the economy is bouncing back too.
Such a good point, Maggie. The stock market is trying to reflect and forecast what the economy can be out in the future. And right now, we haven't seen the kind of economic growth that stocks are actually reflecting. So some would say the stocks are pricing in a recovery, but it's a recovery we haven't seen at this point.
One indication that it's a true recovery will be when we see the reports coming out later this week of these major companies and whether they've turned a profit. But it has to be a real profit based on sales.
A legitimate profit, Maggie. You want to see top line growth. You want to see companies generating sales and not just cost cutting their way to profits, because cost cutting equates to jobs lost. And we want to see more jobs come back in order for the economy to grow and sustain growth long term.
Okay, let's say that here we have the Dow at 11,000. We do see these companies turning profits. People should still know that it's not unusual to see something called a pullback, even after all this good news.
Not unusual at all. And in fact, many are anticipating that we will see a pullback coming up here in the next couple of weeks. We're in the midst right now of earnings season. We will hear from tech titans like Google about how their business is running. We'll hear from top financial firms like JP Morgan. And previously, in the last 2 years, what we've seen is after hearing reports from these companies, even when they're good, stocks tend to pull back right after we hear from these companies.
It's what happens after the pullback that
Exactly.
we'll look for.
Exactly.
Rebecca Jarvis, thank you so much.
A lot happens early on The Early Show, weekday mornings on CBS.